Her Substack is Uncompromised with Tara Setmeyer, and also with us, someone who is also very certain, is MSNBC political analyst Basil Smikle. He is a professor of practice at Columbia University. Well,
all right. Well, Basil and Tara, let's talk a little bit about this incoherent capitulation, because it reflects the dynamic of what we've seen from the very beginning of this administration, not just in terms of things like tariffs, but the operationalizing of Doge and so forth. The reality still is in this moment with Caroline Leavitt regarding the art of the deal. Let's listen to the White House press secretary from Wednesday.
Many of you in the media clearly missed the art of the deal. You clearly failed to see what President Trump is doing here. You tried to say that the rest of the world would be moved closer to China when in fact we've seen the opposite effect. The entire world is calling the United States of America, not China, because they need our markets.
What the hell is she talking about? I mean, does she not know that China and Japan and other nations are...
Yeah, let me cut right in here for a second. Yeah, what is she talking about? This woman she will say anything. Absolutely anything.
Yeah, there's their own little economic axes without the U.S. right now. Explain to me, Basil, if you can, this notion that somehow this art of the deal is working.
There's no evidence that it's working. You can't govern with stream of consciousness engagement. That doesn't work. You know, and I heard Bill Clinton say this a number of years ago, that the United States is 4 to 5% of the world's population. So we have to play nice with our partners around the globe. And as you said, and we talked about this before, what China has been doing internationally has been, when you look at it, building ports in places in Africa and in the Caribbean. They've expanded their economy significantly. So this sort of protectionist approach that the president is thinking or trying to promote.
Yeah, China was thinking way ahead of us. I'm cutting in real quick again. And they got this BRIC system where it's set up with a lot of the African countries and a lot of the South American countries. They're ahead of us.
I definitely think hurts American workers. And let's be clear. And you're right at in the ways that you talked about this at the top, that these exceptions that he's made for these big companies, yes, it may make your iPhone a little cheaper, but the reality is that there are a lot of other products that come into this country from China, for example. So you may get a cheaper phone from Apple or some other company, but when you go to the Dollar Tree store, in your neighborhood, all of these other areas, the Walmarts of the world, Walmarts that are some of the biggest employers in some communities. When you go to those stores, all of those products are going to be more expensive. Yep. And there's a little irony here, just very quickly. The CEO of BlackRock was at the Economic Club at New York and indicated that a lot of the companies he's engaged with are talking recession. It was at that same Economic Club of New York, if you remember during the campaign, that Trump had that incoherent answer about the cost of childcare. So any business leader that ever heard him talk about the economy and his plan could tell you a mile away that he didn't know what he was talking about and that there really was no plan. So this shouldn't really come as a surprise to them. But clearly, it's going to be a surprise to a lot of people who supported him.
There was no plan, Tara. This was all totally foreseeable. Anyone who actually would have walked through these numbers, walked through what manufacturing looks like in the United States, the degree to which we rely on things that are manufactured in China, could have anticipated this. And yet what it actually took were stocks plunging. I want to read you this from CNBC. In the days since Trump's tariff announcement, Apple lost over $640 billion, billion with a B, in market value. CNBC previously reported the cost of an iPhone under Trump's tariff plan could have ballooned to as high as $3,500 under some estimates. Again, Tara, you and I have been in the rooms where these decisions are made. Someone would ordinarily put those numbers in front of you and say, are you willing to take this risk? He had to send the market into a spiral in order to understand this.
This is, to Michael's point, and I bring it up all the time, where so many people are putting their economic fates in the hands of a man who bankrupted casinos. I mean, he clearly has no idea how to run an economy. And the American economy is about to be the next business that he bankrupts. And people are waking up and realizing this, that he has this distorted, perverted view on economics. And I think there's a certain aspect of the tariff power that he has that he gets off on. He likes the idea that he can wield this around and be a bully to our allies and to the world. And in his twisted mind, this power is somehow worth bankrupting businesses, wiping out people's retirement savings, wiping out people's ability to access capital for their businesses, people losing jobs. He doesn't care. He doesn't care about anyone who this hurts, except for his billionaire buddies and his own bottom line. I mean, back in 2012, Donald Trump is talking about how he loves when there's a bad economy. When the economy's bad, I can buy things more cheaply. So, I mean, this is all we need to look underneath about who's benefiting from this. And it sure as hell isn't the average American, because it's the billionaire tech bros and all these other people who, Marjorie Taylor Greene selling off stocks and buying things, and, what's going on with the insider trading, like the market manipulation. There's a bigger thing at play here. And playing chicken with China is a losing battle. This country relies, unfortunately, since permanent normal trade relations in 2000, relies heavily on China. Our economies are intertwined. Are there issues that we could do to try to work around that and get better deals? Yes, but it was also called the TPP, the Trans-Pacific Trade Partnership that Donald Trump blew up in 2017. If we had moved forward with that, we wouldn't be here now either. So this is all very a very dangerous game that Donald Trump is playing here that is going to cost the American people a lot. And rule number one in politics is you don't mess with people's money.
Yeah, these people falling behind Trump, the billionaires, people in business, they should know better. Unless they were just, giving their money the way Trump was. He inherited his money. He didn't work to earn any of that. I can't think of one success. The only success I can think of is him making a fool out of Trump supporters. Getting you fools to give him money, a guy supposedly a billionaire, to fund his campaign and to fund his all his different trials, all his different legal situations. That you dummies barely making it, living in a trailer somewhere probably. Why would you give a billionaire money? Please help me with this. Why would you do that? It makes no sense. And it shows how much he actually doesn't care about you. The fact that he took your money, knowing some of you didn't have much. But yeah, they've been way ahead of us. And by us, I mean our government, especially on the right. They've been working this stuff for years. They've made deals, been working on all kinds of deals with all those African countries and those South American countries. So they're not going to be hurt one little bit by this. They thought ahead, like with EVs. They have awesome EVs for like $20,000. And we're constantly going backwards. Everybody else is making more EVs. Getting way ahead of the game, and we're falling way behind. But this is something you guys need to pay attention to what these people were saying. Don't look at what color they were or anything like that. Pay attention to what they're talking about. Don't, take your blinders off. Please take your blinders off. Listen to these people, because this is not a good situation for the average, everyday person. These terrorists, he doesn't know what he's doing. It's pretty obvious. He doesn't know what he's doing. And it's kicking our butts. That's all I got for today. Thanks for watching.